And welcome back, everyone, to VCT Americas Kickoff 2025. The voice you're hearing right now is me. I'm Golden Boy. Alongside me, we also have Xander as well to talk about everything that's going to be coming up in this matchup, because our second match of the day is going to be 100 Thieves taking on a newly reinvigorated MIBR. Could Brazil be on top to kick off Americas today? They could go 2-0 if MIBR pick up a dub here today, Mimi.
If you told me at the end of last year that the worst ranked team in America's number 11 would secure Aspas in the offseason, I would not believe you. But from the 11th place team, MIBR have taken this offseason and produced a roster that I think is going to be vying for like a top 4 spot in America.
Yeah, no, this roster looks absolutely sick. They went out in this offseason, picked up Aspas, of course, but also two of the hottest controller prospects in the Brazilian scene. Have Cortesia switching over to Sentinel for the squad, but this team can shoot, and they were looking real hot in their offseason games too. They only played a few of them. The only team they dropped to was Furia.
Yeah, I mean, they played really well in that Tashinya Invitational in the offseason against some really good competition, and I'm not going to lie. Watching Cortesia play there, play in Tier 2, he's looking to me like the most exciting rookie coming into VCT Americas this year.
Yeah, you know, for me, in the last few seasons, MIBR as an organization, I wasn't quite sure where their heads were at. What do they want? What is the success that they're looking for? These moves, what they've done in the offseason, should tell everyone. This MIBR team is here to win a championship for Brazil. They want to get back to that glory that Loud had for them all those years ago.
And I think we sort of saw this with all of our Brazilian teams, even with Loud winning their first game here, is it's this huge resurgence coming after a very disappointing 2024 for all these orgs. No more than with MIBR. But I've got to say, the signing of Aspas is going to completely change this team. This player was so hot last year.
Because let's not forget, Arjun was actually playing some pretty darn good Valorant last year. So you combine that with Aspas. You also have Nazwar into the mix as well. Highly respected player. People really looking forward to seeing what he could do with the lineup. He got a lot of weapons there.
It's big too, because I mean, we thought Nazwar and Aspas were going to play together last year. They wanted to, and then there was that whole debacle with Lev. He got dropped on Christmas right before the season started. Has to go off and find a new team. And now Aspas and Nazwar back together, playing on a roster with some fantastic new talent alongside them. The potential is so high for MIBR.
Yeah, we're really excited to see what is the potential for Aspas and Nazwar. And good thing is, Riv actually got an opportunity to get a quick chat with those boys before they get ready for their matchup.
Hanging out in the MIBR practice room, I got Aspas and Nazwar here. Yeah, that's right. Together again. I got to ask, how's it feel? It's got to be amazing.
Yeah, it's good to play again with Eric. He is one of the best players in the world. And I'm very happy to share team with him again.
And what were you thinking when you heard the news?
I got really happy after what happened last year. I did a Twitter post, and in the post I said a lot of good things about him. And one of them, it was the fact that I want to play with him again. And I even messaged him in WhatsApp saying the same thing.
Well, dreams come true. And I'm sure for the fans too. What have you been hearing from your fans on Twitter, on socials?
Yeah, I think it's a really good hype over there. So yeah, we have the kickoff now. We are confident. We are good. So yeah, we are feeling great.
Awesome. And Aspas, one more for you. How are you feeling this year? Are we going to get more here? Are we going to get that Aspas that overachieve this year?
I don't know, but I'm feeling really good. I'm working really hard. So I will just do my best and try to perform even better.
All right, let's see it. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Best of luck in the games. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that, Riv. And yeah, it's great to see Aspas with this MIBR organization, an organization that, you know, has had a lot of success in Counter-Strike and other titles in the past as well. Really looking to find that success here in Valorant. And who better to do so than with these 5 guys? I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better stacked team.
We are so glad that they found him as well, because like the rumors flying of like, is he going to wind up outside of Americas? Like, EMEA stole so many.
We are having
strong talent.
Fucks all of them over there.
An honest to God brain drain of like our best players this offseason.
I think if we lost Aspas, I was going to give up. It was over. But no, we kept him, and MIBR are only going to look better for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, him playing on a Brazilian roster just feels right. Getting to speak Portuguese with his team again. And I'm not going to lie, he looked happy in that interview. He looked excited to play. It really feels like the excitement is building not just around the fans, but around these players too. It's clearly a roster where everyone is excited to play it with each other. And on top of being back with Nazwar, Aspas is also back with one of the coaches that helped bring him the World Championship in 2022 with Fraud.
Yeah, and that's just a great pairing to have right there.
Yeah.
It always feels like when Aspas is playing with the team, a lot of their ideas, especially on the defensive side, are built around where they can move him on the map to have him find those kills, whether it's the operator or with the rifle, anything like this. So already having that built-in synergy, that understanding of how he wants to play defensive side especially, unlocks him so much to do what he's going to do.
Yeah, there's really just the sky's the limit for this MIBR team. Excited for this lineup. And again, to kind of go back to what you were saying at the start of this, wild to be like, that's the sentence I said out loud in 2025. When the last few years, it's kind of been a little bit shambles for MIBR. So now they're looking to really pick things up. But we want a little bit more insight. Thankfully, Riv agrees. And we actually have a special guest from the Brazilian broadcast team to give us just that.
Thanks, GB. I am here with Malau, and we want to hear your take on MIBR's new rookies. We got Cortesia and Shenum. Are they great for the team? Are they good? Is this going to take a little bit, or are they flying right off the start?
I think, in my expectations, it's going to take a while, not because they are rookies, but because the team's new, it's a new roster. But Cortesia and Shenum, they're really good individually. They bring a lot of firepower. Cortesia had to change roles. He used to be a controller, now he's playing Sentinel. But he's so good. Like, he has one of the best aims in Americas. You're gonna see it. He hits a lot of headshots. So I'm feeling confident from the medium to long run. If they play well here at Kickoff, it's gonna be a pleasant surprise.
What are we thinking about Shenum here? Obviously coming in as well as new to this team. No role changes there, just sliding in pretty good.
Yeah, he used to play. The first time that I saw him playing, he was a duelist. Then he played a little bit of a Sentinel. In the beginning of the career, he was a Sentinel, so he used to swap roles, but he's been a controller for a while. He was one of the best in Brazil. These guys are showing up since 2023. They finally got a shot, so I'm looking forward to see them play.
Right on. So, and they're joining Aspas, Artisan, Naswer. How much do you think these two players can level up throughout the season? Are they kind of have their own form already, or are they molded?
I think they're like I said, individually they're really good. Like maybe almost on the what we expect to see Aspas playing.
Okay.
They have a lot of firepower. But I think that, like, in experience-wise, like to get to get used to the stage, to get used to what the other teams punishes your mistakes that didn't happen in Brazil, back in Brazil. So it's gonna. I hope it's gonna be like instant, but they didn't have a lot of time to practice. With the travels back in Brazil, they didn't get a lot of screens, but they play an off-season tournament. They came like a runner-up, so I think they're on the path.
All right, Malau, thank you so much for the insight into MIB's new starting lineup. We are going to send it back to the desk. There's more for the day.
Thank you so much, Malau, for that, as well as Riv breaking down what we can expect from this MIBR team. And it just sounds like overall, stocks are high. People feel good. They're feeling themselves. They like this. But on the other side of the field, let's talk about MIBR's opponents, because it's NA's own 100 Thieves, and they're going to be coming back with only one roster change. So really a polar opposite of what we saw in the last one, but it was a big one, Ender.
Yeah, I mean, this is about as good as a system as you can find, I think, especially you think how good 100 Thieves were looking back during stage 1 of last year.
Yeah.
Now, the fall-off did come in, but honestly, the core of 4 players in the brains of Zix, I would expect this team to actually come out of the gate stronger than maybe some people's overall expectations would be because of what they have to build off from last year.
Let's address the gloom, though, because no matter where 100 Thieves goes, especially their fans, this impending existential dread always
Like a dark cloud
them.
follows them everywhere they go.
Right, because you're losing Bang, who was one of, if not the best player on this roster last year, and their offseason, they played one event, and they lost to Trust in Plug, not even
I'm sorry, what was that name again?
Okay. Trust in Plug.
Trust in Plug. Who's
Yes.
Plug?
I don't know.
And no one knows who Plug is,
Dear Lord.
is the truth.
But you gotta trust in him.
And I understand the gloom about 100 Thieves. I personally don't want to overreact to the offseason because I really do think, especially with the change to the meta, favoring like double initiator comps like Teo and stuff like this, I think Zix is going to cook up some really good stuff.
I just want to challenge that one thing, though, because I remember quite a bit last year, we were praising Sentinels for being so active in the offseason, and it paid off.
Yeah.
For 100 Thieves not to do that,
But here's the thing, is I'm looking past the offseason, I'm thinking, okay, they've kept 4 players and the coach from last year. So they don't need to grind the offseason for experience. That's just about bringing Xander into the program, playing new maps, these types of things. So I don't want to overreact to a bad offseason with this team specifically.
They still got owned by Jerwin, and they're going to have to do a little better than that.
I love how you're the good angel and you're the bad angel.
No offense to
The
Jerwin.
funny thing is that I am the ultimate Bang believer, and I do think that long-term, this team has less potential. Even though I think Xander's a very good player in his own right, Bang was absolutely insane in clutch situations, and so often, like, winning rounds back for the team.
Yeah.
So I need to see a Xander that can do better than his M80 self and really step up to the plate if this team is going to be a long-term contender.
Yeah, well, I mean, we want to hear from Xander and really get an idea of how he is feeling coming into this matchup and coming into the 100 Thieves organization. Let's go ahead and send it over to Riv, who's got words for Xander.
I am here in the 100 Thieves practice room with Xander, about to get a few words. You're no stranger to the big stage from your time all the way back on V1, time on M80, but you've always been on the cusp of the VCT stage. How's it feel to finally be here?
It feels great. Obviously, I felt like I had an obligation to M80 to make it with them and the players and the org. But yeah, here on 100 Thieves, I feel grateful, very excited to play, and yeah, happy to be here.
How's everybody treating you?
Amazing. Boostio's kind of mean sometimes, but I'm getting used to it.
There you go. Things to work on throughout the year. You guys are just going to go up and up from here. Back to you guys.
I did not realize that Boostio grew out his hair. I was like, who is that in the background? And it was Boosty kicking him. And I thought, why does that guy have hair all of a sudden? And, I obviously can't relate.
With hair.
What can I say? Well, speaking of someone with good hair, Ender, go ahead. Take us away from here. But no,
talking about?
Seriously, Xander, though, really, he does have big shoes to fill. We were talking about this with Bang. This is going to be difficult. Mimi, what should the fans be expecting here with Xander?
I'm going to escape the doom and gloom shadow for a second.
Oh, yay.
And build up Xander, because this guy was incredible. I mean, he missed out on Ascension, on a win into Americas twice, back with M80, missing out by just so close in both of those matches. But he was really incredible throughout their runs. Was a huge key player there, has a lot of those individual moments when he's playing the controller role. In a lot of ways, I think plays a very similar style to what Bang is doing. But he was doing it at the Tier 2 level, and Bang has been one of the best players on 100 Thieves at the Tier 1 level for a very long time. So it's still a big jump for Xander to make.
Yeah, I think he's deserved the shot at America's stage for a while now after the runs with M80. And I also expect him to slot in almost perfectly to sort of the team culture here with 100 Thieves. I think that this team does have the chance to work very well together, but that's kind of always been the thing about 100 Thieves. If it's not just like one player shining above the rest, it really is this sort of joint effort, playing some pretty creative comps, especially during their solid run last year.
He's also going to get to play with his former teammate in EU, who for me was one of the top rookies in Americas last year. He came out, and 100 Thieves were really, remember, innovators. They were playing the Fade Gecko stuff before anyone else. They defined the meta on Bind. So I think coming into a new patch here now, 100 Thieves is actually in a really good position to come up with some creative stuff, as Zix did last year.
Yeah, they were the kings of those mid-range double initiator comps, right? Where it's all this damaging utility.
Which
Your
is what
agent
Tejo's
has
about.
all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, you just stole the answer. Come on, let me ask the question first.
My bad.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Let's flip the script a little bit, even though it's my job and it's all I do all the time. Asuna's back for a 4th year, which is, when you are a tenured player on a squad in any sport, and you haven't been able to pull up results after a certain while, people begin to look in your direction and ask questions. What's going on?
I do want to dispute not pulling results right now, because they did win an American stage last year. They had a solid run at Shanghai. Last year was not bad for 100 Thieves, but they did fail at the end. And I think people are right to question Asuna, because he has been kind of inconsistent, right? At his best, he's one of the best players we have in the league. And at his worst, he can have some pretty low performances. And now with him likely having to slot a lot more raise this year, there's going to be a lot of pressure on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I understand some of where the criticism is coming from about the inconsistency, but at the same time, I'm like, him at his best is worth it enough for me to take
And you
that
mentioned
game.
the racing, and you kind of, that's okay. You want Asuna to be in that position because he can just play racing.
The other thing is when you keep a player for 4 years, it's not just because they have a great gun, it's because they fit the team culture, because they do a lot behind the scenes, because they're vocal. And Asuna fills in a lot. You listen to 100 Thieves comms videos, and this guy is a big piece
100%.
of the puzzle.
Yeah, listening in on him all the time, he's fantastic. But I also think when you got Cryo, right? You need a guy that can flex onto the Rays. And I think that works so nicely for the team is that you can, mix around duelist and, have that slot.
All right, team. You guys spoke about the squads. We now have everything's laid out, but let's go ahead and see what our broadcast team thinks. Who's walking away with the win here today? And Ender went for MIBR, I went for MIBR, and Mimi went for MIBR. The whole desk went for MIBR. Meanwhile, our colleagues on the cast decided to go a different route.
It feels pretty close to me. I think
it was a toss-up.
100 Thieves is honestly the easier answer to make. They're making a one-for-one swap with a player that's in the same exact role versus MIBR, which is starting from scratch. New rookies, integrating Aspas. They're building up their system this year, so I think it's a lot more of a difficult task for MIBR.
Yeah, that sounds good, but strats are fake click heads.
The strats are fake click heads. All right, well, we just managed to introduce 2 teams to the stage. Let's go ahead and bring out 2 more. It's now time for 100 Thieves and MIBR to take the stage, and let's get this show started. Let's make some noise, baby.
Chegou o momento que todo mundo estava esperando. Make some noise, façam muito barulho para o MIBR.
Made in Brazil, led by, one of the greatest players to ever grace the stage in Valorant's history with Aspas, coached by, a legendary individual in Counter-Strike as well as Valorant, a world champion. You have so many tools across the board for this MIBR team, Mimi. It really feels like the stage is set for this to be an MIBR year.
MIBR right now is feeling like Loud did in 2022, 2023. They have one of the best players in the world with some of the most highly anticipated players from Tier 2 in Brazil. The sky's the limit for this team. But the question is, what can they put together right now for kickoff?
They have the prospects, but this is the first real test on the big stage.
Yeah, and it's a really difficult one as well.
And now, let's bring out their opponents. Stand up for one of NA's finest. Give it up for 100 Thieves!
And 100 Thieves make their way to the stage, no doubt about it. They will be fan favorites here in NA as they're playing at the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles. But, we mentioned the pressure. Everything is laying on these young men's shoulders here because this 100 Thieves organization, they're looking for a lot of success in 2025.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Golden Boy, but I only see 6 Thieves on the stage right now.
This is true. Nate's got the other 94 tucked away.
Okay, just in case they need him.
Cloud. He's got him in the cloud somewhere.
No, I'm excited to see what Xander has on the big stage after being denied twice in a row. This is a chance for a guy to really prove his worth.
Yeah, this is a team that really defined the meta in terms of initiators last year. Now with Tejo in the mix, already showing his potential in EMEA. Really excited to see what ideas Zix and the boys have cooked up.
And we're going to be getting these maps in a moment here, so we'll see where we're going for this battle between 100 Thieves and MIBR. If you're just joining us, though, you missed quite a doozy with that Loud EG matchup. Definitely one to go back and check out the VODs for. Wild stuff there. Brazil picks up the win. They're looking to go 2-0 today if MIBR could pick up the dub against 100 Thieves. But as we had talked about extensively, this 100 Thieves roster comes in with a lot of familiarity, not a lot of new unique tools added, and they could potentially be a force.
Absolutely. I just think it's so fun that day one of America's here, it's 2 matchups that a Brazilian team versus, an American team,
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
And especially after how disappointing last year was for a bunch of our Brazilian squads, if MIBR is able to live up to the expectations and do it here, that's a great
Beautiful day for
to kick
Brazil.
off the year.
Absolutely would be, especially for Aspas getting to, because remember, when he was playing with Leviathan, that was his first time as a competitor, speaking English with his team, integrating integrating into kind of a multinational roster. Now he's back to basics on a roster named Made in Brazil, trying to make his mark yet again. As we see the map veto here, we're starting off with 100 Thieves, going back to their classic from last year, that bind.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm mad. Both of our teams, like Loud and MIBR, both banned Fracture first.
Shake hands,
What's up?
no new maps.
We've gone, what, 15 months without Fracture? Give me Fracture.
Well, get ready to go for at least another day.
Oh, it's so painful. It's all right.
It is,
We'll
but
get over it.
it is going to be fascinating to see whether or not, I mean, could this end in a 2-0?
I mean, absolutely. It always could. It's so tough to judge teams this early on, especially two rosters that we didn't see a ton of in the offseason. More take from MIBR playing in that invitational.
Sure.
But still, there's been a good bit of time since then for MIBR.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation for MIBR because it is, rookie players getting up on the big stage here in Americas for the first time.
Playing
as well,
with the world's best player from their region.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they were a little bit slower out of the gate, So I think I wouldn't immediately jump to conclusions off of this game out of what MIBR's, expected result is going to be unless they crush. And then I am all aboard the hype train.
Okay, Agent Select is in, and we have Tejo Breach yet again. We were talking about this. That combination absolutely obliterates any sites. And when you have Aspas, the guy following that util up, it's a recipe for success.
And if you're talking about Lotus here on map 1 as well, it just means instant rubble control. You can't play there on either side. You're getting pushed out of the space. I do like seeing the Clove. I think a lot more people are going to be playing this agent on this map.
And it's a double smokes comp as well, bringing out the Omen there too. And Asuna playing the Neon despite the nerfs. So some interesting stuff from 100 Thieves as well.
Well, it's time to send it over to your casters who kind of look like a grown-up Big Justice and the Rizzler. Let's get 3 big booms for Dog and Baby Bay!
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it was a wrestling reference. I don't really know. Look, we've got a banger ahead of us. We've got MIBR and 100 Thieves joining us on the stage. I know that my prediction said that I was going to go with MIBR. And I mean, yeah, it's Aspas, it's Nazwar, it's Fraud. But listen, my loyalties are cheap. And if 100 Thieves is walking around giving out scarves and stuff like this, then we can change that bread at any point.
And I gotta be honest, it's pretty good quality as well.
It's really nice.
I'm not going full sellout mode, even though I did vote for 100 Thieves to win. But I mean, hopefully that can get one of these backstage, if you know what I mean.
It's very nice. We might as well just say buy the bundle, and then I think we're good. We've done our duties, and we can go home. Look, there's a lot of reason to be excited about this roster, Jay. We've talked about it a little bit. Aspas joining MIBR, that's a huge story.
Yeah, I mean, empty promises from Leviathan from last year, right?
Yeah.
But MIBR steps up to the plate, gives Aspas that brotherly love that he needed, NZR. So are we going to see a new demon? I mean, these are questions that we're going to get a little glimpse of right here after this first map even.
Well, we are also getting glimpses of a tech pause. I regret to inform that to you good people.
Of course.
At home and here in the venue, but I promise you that we will get through it as quickly as we can. I say that as an empty promise as well. I don't know if we're going to get through it quickly or not. In fact, I have nothing to do with how quickly it goes, but we'll get to it as soon as we can. Dre, talk to me about the comps. I want to particularly get your thoughts on Asuna on Neon. Neon, for all intents and purposes, got gutted.
Yeah, I think this must be like a comfortability pick just because Asuna and the previous year was running it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely nerfed to the ground in my book. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not viable. You can still do a lot of those plays where you slide onto people with utility, and that's what this composition from 100 Thieves gives you, is a lot more utility than the other end. You have more consistent util, more rechargeables from 100 Thieves, and on MIBR's composition, I mean, you got the Tejo. It's very explosive. You're going to see a lot of retakes and etc. But the info, it's lacking, man. All you have really is that Killjoy turret and that stealth drone from Tejo.
Which is tough when you're talking about a 3-site map and you know kind of how that plays out. So we'll see. MIBR will be on the defensive side. We haven't had the privilege of talking about the Tejo, so I want to get your thoughts on him. It seems to me, I was talking to Kusart, the designer of the newest agent. His kit is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty simple.
Rockets go boom.
Right, rockets go boom, the scan scans, and then you get stunned, right? Yeah. And from that point, it seems pretty simple and it seems pretty straightforward. I don't know that Tejo is as strong as people thought he was going to be off the bat, but I would love your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think everybody thought that it was going to be a character that completely changes the game, and what we're seeing now, even from the EMEA matches, is that it's kind of niche. You have to have a good strategy behind it. Now this map, I'm expecting to see a lot of retaking, a lot of explosive site hits, because you don't have the opportunity to play that longer game, that info game. You don't have the utility necessary there. And you kind of make it obvious as well with where you're going with this composition. So MIBR in the offseason, they did play a lot of contact style. And keep in mind, this was like matches from a month ago, that Brazilian tournament. But still, I'm assuming they're going to do something very similar here. And I will say though, Doug, MIBR in the past has been ahead of the curve on this map of Lotus. And yeah, it's a completely different roster, but Fraud is the one coming over as well from last year. So I think they'll still be very solid on this map.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to talk to Fraud during the Spotlight tournament and to get his thoughts on Aspas joining the team and kind of how that comes together and what the possibility and the opportunity that comes from that. And I think we can talk about Aspas a lot, as we should. He's, as I think GB mentioned it on the desk, one of the greatest to ever grace the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, but my eyes honestly go towards Naswar. His leadership, the fact that when he's been on bad teams, he still looks good.
When he subbed in last year, he looked great.
He looked great amongst the rest of the pieces around him that, quite frankly, didn't look nearly as good. So, if we can talk about Aspas, yes, but I'm really excited to see how Naswar leads this team.
Yeah, and it does look like we're finally going to be getting into the mix here. The opening match of MIBR and 100 Thieves.
It's been a long waited. The offseason is finally over. Praise be, we survived another one, and we are back. The first series was a banger. The second should deliver the same way. 100 Thieves on the attacking side. We've talked about the Neon comp and how there will be a lot going on there. It's also going to be time for the Samsung match start. We're loading up fast with Samsung SSDs, and we're already loading towards A.
Yeah, there was a breach stun out from NZR. A little bit to thwart some early aggression. It's a 1-3-1. This is something that you're going to see a lot from MIBR, not only on this map, but other maps to follow as well. And it's just quiet across the board right now.
Well, it's quiet, but it's deceitfully quiet. Look at how much space they've taken across the middle of the map already. You've got Ardzine and you've got Aspas taking space.
Yeah, but it's almost a trap because you do see EU here holding the angle. He's holding the flank.
It's just one gun, but there are plenty more behind it. Aspas is the first to swing. They don't realize there's more behind that. Ardzine lights up the kill feed. 3 on the round already.
Yeah, forget Aspas. Ardzine, he's the one that's getting all the kills with the Sheriff. The headshots coming through. He's getting close to that Armageddon already.
You know, it was another guy that we didn't talk about that we should have talked about. We were talking about him at the beginning of last year and how much potential he had and how good he could be, and he showed signs of it in Kickoff just a year ago, and ultimately wasn't able to carry that throughout the entire year, but picking up. And hopefully for MIBR fans, we'll continue to do more of that. Asuna and Xander have gotten the spike and are now out on site. Just waiting to commit to the plan.
And Doug, I love the discipline from MIBR right now. No one giving an inch to 100 Thieves, and now they're grouping up. The retake's going to come through. They have the breach stun still.
Warmbot out first, now the stun, the missiles through. Everything intended to delay. The exchange of utility, now the gunfire erupting off the swing. Xander's able to get one, not able to settle into anything else, leaving Asuna all on his own, a 1v3 with the ghost in hand. Off the drops, he's going to get triple-faced, managing to isolate the gunfights, getting it down to a 1v2. Cortesia weak, on the swing, gets a second, or at least tries to. That's 4 on the round for Ardzine, and the pistol for MIBR.
And he picks up the defuse as well. He's only going to be, what, 2 orbs off of the ult, or maybe 3 orbs off of the ult now? You bring that ult into the first gun round, it's looking pretty good for you. And of course, there will be another tech pause after this. But look at those shots from Ardzine. Beautiful work. Aspas breaking the crosshair from EU in this moment. So clean. Ardzine coming warmed up and ready to play.
That's a great start for him. It's a great start for MIBR. Just 1 round, and yes, there is another tech pause. You know, it's about time we start blaming some of these on you guys in the crowd. Surely somebody like kicked a cable or did something. It can't be us every single time. But yes, again, once I know what's going on, we will keep you all informed and get you back into the action. Dre, talk to me about the approach that they had. Yes, it was just 1 round, but I think there was a lot of proactivity on the side of MIBR again in taking that space mid.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep on being proactive because there is no sentinel on the side of 100 Thieves. So until 100 Thieves punishes some type of aggression on that defensive side, there's no need to slow down and no need to stop. I mean, keep in mind, we are going in to an anti-eco, so you might see a way more slower approach because you don't want to give away guns for free.
Sure.
But still, why not take space on other areas of the map once the pack is found out from 100 Thieves?
Yeah.
And if those players that are holding the flank can't win the 1v1s like EU, or even convert just one kill, it's not going to be good signs for them. They're just going to get smothered over and over again against a comp that has very explosive utility for the retake.
We will see how it plays out. We're also going to see what some of the players have to say ahead of this matchup. Take a listen.
Agora tá podendo representar a MIBR é algo bem especial, porque basicamente eu voltei para um time do Brasil, então estou muito feliz com isso e dar o meu melhor para representar a MIBR.
MIBR look pretty good. They have Aspas, who's the best player in the world. His mechanics are just better than everyone else's, so he just shoots better than you. But I beat him on Loud, I beat him on Lev, so I'm confident I can beat him.
Eu sou uma pessoa bem confiante, então mesmo com toda a pressão, com as pessoas olhando, eu tendo a focar bastante em mim, então basicamente estou muito confiante.
Welcome back. We do still have a little bit of a pause, but I'm hoping the slow clap that we're starting will get you guys a little bit more excited as we get into the action. Again, MIBR against 100 Thieves. The first pistol, the first round of it went the way of MIBR. Plenty of reasons to be excited, and we'll see how the rest of this plays out, Dre.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back into the mix of things, of course, and I think they had to even restart the entire server, which is kind of rough, but the crowd already going wild for the two tech pauses, of course.
There's nothing that fires me up for cheering like a tech pause.
Yeah, perfect moment.
That's what gets me going.
I think I'm hearing word that what happened was, you know, all the dap stuff in the front was a player broke his hand or something like that. Somebody slapped the hand a little too hard, Doug. Something like that. But, I mean, we got the classic laying back in the chair, full Aspas mode. Not just him, but now he's got Aspas and friends doing it. 3 of them from the side of MIBR. Full Zen mode. We can see a lot of question marks from one of the players. He's confused at what's going on. But This is the strong presence in and out of game. We got Boostio. This guy has been hot on Twitter lately. He has the smoke for every single person out there.
No, wait, Boostio?
Boostio.
That's not Boostio. That's not the Boostio I know. All right, real quick update for you guys. It turns out during that pistol that went so favorably in the way of MIBR, there were 2 players who had connection issues. So we're actually going to replay that first round. We're starting all the way back from the very beginning. Once the players get their PC situated and figured out and whatever, we'll load back in. It's going to be a clean slate. We're starting over from the very beginning of the map. And so it's tricky in situations like this because, I mean, would you not expect a push down mid at this point?
You know what? This kind of makes sense because in the beginning of the game, we kind of saw Boostio just staring at EU or somebody in the main, and I was wondering what was going on. I think he was staring at Cryo. So that must have been the issue. I'm like, why is he just staring at him like that? You know, so, I mean, we're all about competitive integrity here, and we want to make it a fair playing ground. Yeah, it does suck that a pistol was shown with the push down mid, but
Yep.
I think the case is probably 100 Thieves were already complaining about it, and I mean, they kind of just got pushed. You know, what are you going to do at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, whatever the situation is, I don't have full clarity and visibility into it, but fortunately, we're paid by the word, so we're going to get to do another round, and we get to do this one more time. Again, you're seeing the players on your screen. Boostio,
Yeah.
refreshed and ready to go.
And there's no way you're going to see MIBR do a push down mid again. If they did that again, that would be absolutely ridiculous.
That would be quite silly.
That would be alpha, honestly, more than anything. But these are pro teams. You got to have more in the playbook than just one pistol round. Yeah, you practice a bunch on set pistols, but it's all about adaptability because you also know they know now. And you know that you won the last time you flanked, so that could give you more confidence throughout the entire match, understanding that there are gaps as well in the attacking side of 100 Thieves.
I'm sure the investigative journalists out there saw the screens on the stage. It seems like they are back in Agent Select, so that should mean we're just a few moments from kicking off this series one more time.
Hopefully.
We can only hope.
The hopium is in full effect.
We can only hope. And again, shout out to the camera operators for giving us the behind-the-scenes look. It does seem like we're loading back in, so we should be starting this series here very, very shortly. Again, if you missed the very beginning, you didn't miss anything because we're starting over. But 100 Thieves is running the Neon. You've got the Rays on the side of MIBR, and then again, Tejo. I guess it's not really a debut anymore.
No, not at all. But I will say that Artseed's debut this year so far has been quite immaculate, even though those 4 kills aren't going to count into this game. He looks very warmed up and ready to go, and I'm assuming we're going to see the Sheriff buy on him again because he hit some crispy, clean shots, and it's actually looking like a very similar setup. No way they're going to run it back, though.
You would think, but we've seen stranger things. It does seem like a very similar start on the side of 100 Thieves. All posted up towards A.
Both teams are running the same pistol, even though both teams know what each other did. Oh. So there's the default utility. You have the breach stun with the fade eye, the neon sliding out, but this is way more paced from 100 Thieves.
Notably faster, you're absolutely right.
Careful there.
Knobs were the only one close by, playing up in heaven. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves have taken the entirety of the site and have committed to the plant.
Proactive stun and omen flash into heaven here, but no utility used or bodies found from the side of MIBR. And here comes the retake.
With Asuna waiting on the wings, you see again more of that utility coming through. Asuna getting 2. Almost replicating Artseed's performance in the previous round. A big advantage here for the attacking side.
Yeah, but Cortesia, this young gun, he looks so good in the offseason. He's very solid. I know we talked a lot about the other players on the team, but when he's in the server, his mechanical skill is so good. It's NZR getting 2.
Yeah, his mechanical skill is no good there. Noswar with too many targets to choose from. Not enough bullets to deliver him, and the pistol goes the way of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, Shinam even picked up the kill on the Asuna. but it wasn't enough. 100 Thieves way more decisive this time around. That proactivity into heaven, they just have so much more utility to blow. Those rechargeables and everything. Asuna was getting shaky on it again in heaven there. Taking out Aspas, running through that smoke. And so 100 Thieves, they live a retake this time around, maybe understanding where some of that utility is going to flood in from on that A site.
A notable investment on the side of the attack, a Bulldog, a couple of Vandals. These can sometimes be dangerous moments. You invest into this heavier artillery, you don't want to give it over.
No, not at all, but you do have a lot of players on light armor, so that Sheriff can one-shot you from across the map. But I like this setup already. Boostio holding the stun or a flash out off the contact of Cryo in that A main. It is the stun. So if Aspas decides to peek out even an inch, a little too far, he will be punished for it.
Yeah, a little game of chicken here. Who's going to be the first to make a move? It's actually Cryo. Takes a slight step to the left, spots an elbow. Deals some damage, but now they move forward. Now they accelerate.
Oh, they get out the missiles as well. A very poised approach from 100 Thieves. Very methodical.
And this is pretty late into the round, so if that was... And normally we'd be talking about the next cycle of those missiles coming back up, but and depending on how the rest of the round goes, that might not be a factor.
Yeah, but they are running into the stack here, Duck. MIBR have a read onto this.
Paranoia used out, Asuna dashing across. That stinger still hurts.
And the stun to follow up as well.
Comfort for 100 Thieves, comfort for Asuna.
Spike planted.
And it seems like it's going to be a pretty decisive round, just 2 remaining for the defense.
Yeah, and even last year, the name of the game for 100 Thieves was comfort. Just playing their own strats, not really thinking about what the other team is doing too much, just playing our own game. That's what led to that Shanghai run. They made it so deep with the IGLing of Boostio.
With a fresh start, and again, a new addition to the squad. 100 Thieves will venture forth and see if they can do the same thing, see if they can replicate that success. On the side of MIBR, you've got light armor across the board. And an ult for Asuna in round 3.
Keep in mind, the ult changes. Doesn't last as long anymore, so you actually have to be very, very decisive on where you're going with it.
Yeah, it takes a lot more thought, much more intentional.
He does still have a Phantom to use. The perfect gun for that slide. Here's that little stealth bot, getting some info. Right now, from the side of MIBR, they've seen the same thing as last round. A Clove in A main. That's it. See mount control as well.
They're starting to rotate back that way.
Yeah, the thing is, the defense is so spread thin right now. There is proactivity looking to be made towards A main, but the forefront of the fight is going to be at C. And they're going to have to leave this site. There's going to be too much utility here to deal with.
Well, you're starting to see some of the rotations come through, and that piece of utility being one of them. The stun from Noswer. Got a little bit more help. Asuna has popped the ult. Again, you see the stuns coming through. The finger guns out. It's by committee as 100 Thieves crack the site wide open, get everything they want and then some.
It was perfect. It was beautiful. Dodging the breach stun, dodging the omen flash. No utility getting value from the side of MIBR. And then the explosiveness from the side of 100 Thieves with that neon ultimate. Just jumping around the actual site. Smothering MIBR.
We talked about how they were pretty light on the site, and they were only 2. Maybe the reinforcements will come over in time, but none of that seemed to matter.
Yeah, they tried. MIBR tried to flood out. The breach playing on B, I see what they're trying to do. He can stun the A line. He can stun the C line.
Right.
But if 100 Thieves just wait out your utility, now again, they just go full force with theirs, and you just lose. Quick maths.
It's interesting to see the difference in approach, too. You think about the first pistol, which was a little bit more cautious, and maybe it was because of whatever connectivity issues were happening, but I think since then we've seen pace on the pistol towards A, pace towards C. Once they decide they know where they want to go, they're sending it, which is really what this comp was built to do.
Yeah. Even that stun, that rollout stun that Asuna did right there, that is so clean.
See how we got my ult?
He's feeling it, man. I mean, listen, he can play Neon for me any day if he's going to be vibing like that.
Yeah, he seems like he's having a good time. For good reason.
This time it's going to be Aspas over towards this C mound area. First time this entire map that he's done this. Fault line not used towards A main either. There's just so much utility from the side of 100 Thieves to methodically take this space, but I was about to say, is Aspas going to win the head-to-head against Asuna, and he doesn't. He falls.
No, cheeky little attempt at catching him off guard.
He's got to try for something, right? He's the only rifle on the board.
Yeah. You want to set up your stars in situations like that. And they just weren't able to net any success. So now you've got the 4 sheriffs that remain to try to keep back this unrelenting pace from 100 Thieves that we've seen.
Asuna with a jump shot as well.
Getting plucked out of the sky. Still just sheriffs. The scraps that they've been asked to
30 seconds left.
find success with have really just kind of fallen apart as well.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are looking so strong at this attacking side.
Spike plant.
They've been so decisive. The pacing has been perfect. I mean, the way that they're changing it. Aggressiveness in the beginning, then they freeze. If they get a pick, then they freeze again. Then they explode on the site with the rechargeables back up. Asuna is now getting his jump kills again. These are scary things to deal with if you're MIBR.
Young Gun not able, the Young Gun not able to find any success there as 100 Thieves get their 4th. You got Boostio 2 points away from his ult.
And I think what made it obvious that maybe there was somebody fighting around that C mound area was that breach stun not coming out towards A main like it has been before for MIBR. Maybe they need to try to feint a little bit better for Aspas to get a little bit more aggressive.
We'll have the tools for it. This is not a replay. This is a timeout. As MIBR calls an early one right before starting the 5th round of the half. Again, they haven't seen very much as far as gun rounds go, but the little that they have seen has just kind of left more questions than answers.
Yeah, and this is the perfect timeout for MIBR. You have to stop the bleeding now. If not now, then it's going to be too late for you because, especially with this comp that you're running for MIBR on the attacking side is where it's going to be the strongest, right? You're going to have very strong executes. You're going to guarantee some sites, but you need to win rounds on the defense to give yourself a chance.
Right, yeah. Just be within striking reach as you get to halftime, and maybe there's a conversation to be had on the other side of it.
Anything. You got to scrape by with anything.
They're also, you know, we were talking about some of the ult situations on the side of 100 Thieves as Boostio was pretty close to theirs, but if memory serves me right for MIBR, they're pretty close to having a couple considerable ones of their own. Yeah, you see it there. Nazar's 1 away, Aspas 2 away. You know, maybe they build a plan around that.
Yeah, Shinam also 1 off of that Omen ultimate for quick rotate. But here we go. Yeah, here's the change. It's going to be an A fight.
It's a stack from both sides. You've got the fault line set up. Immediately used. It's fire against fire. And again, it seems to be going the way of 100 Thieves. Austin is settling the shots for a 2nd kill. They have to give the space up.
Just bullying MIBR. Asuna, he dodged every single bit of utility. That's why he's running the Neon, Doug. Forget that it's nerfed. He can still sprint around like a madman and dodge util left and right.
Careful there.
MIBR, they need a miracle into this round. It's a 5v3. Cortesia, he's so far away right now. And Cryo's going to pick off Artsy.
And that's 1 kill found on EU. That's another.
Oh, Breach ult invested into this round. The time is already really low.
What in the world is this? They're fully committing onto all this. They're investing as heavily as they can, and it might just work out.
He's got a stick.
Boostio still playing backside. He's going to get first, and Oz with just a sitting duck on the swing. He's going to get the kill. Is he going to be able to get the defuse? Austin is on the swing. He drops them. Oh, an ill-advised investment. And another round for 100 Thieves.
Asuna closes out the round, but he started it off great as well, dodging all that utility that I was talking about. And yeah, it was a stack from MIBR. They even had the fault line going diagonal, trying to get just him, but it wasn't enough. Asuna's rollout on that Neon was too strong, it was too good, and MIBR now are too broke to afford a lot of rifles into this round.
Again, you commend the fact that you have to try something, and you're playing on a knife's edge there.
Yeah, this time.
That's just a tough situation. This time, MIBR very effortlessly winning the A main fight, and that's because the team didn't really want to fight for it themselves.
Yeah.
Much more interested in what's happening on the C side of the map.
I think Boostio is having a great understanding of how MIBR have been approaching these rounds. I feel like he's reading MIBR like a book right now. Little tap of the door to clear out all of front feed. Info now gathered from the side of 100 Thieves. Boostio understands that Tejo is front feed. Asuna is just baiting out a lot of utility. EU somehow is finding a pick on the top site. Doug, it's madness.
I mean, he goes through all of that unpunished.
Yeah. Did he even take any damage? Okay, he barely
took
took damage.
Bit, yeah. The alarm bot is still there. They're going to rotate back towards A, but keep a close eye on Xenon. Off the paranoia. Already down to 52 HP. Stunned.
And dunked on.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Great response, but this tit for tat just really isn't going to be enough. They've got to find a way to get a meaningful advantage, and they have finally found that.
Boostio, he's going to have to do the world right now. He's so low. So much utility just being blown at him right now.
Yeah, he's just not allowed to play the game.
10 seconds left.
There's still a fault line up. There's still a flash up. Tap of the door.
Death cometh for us all. Boostio falls as MIBR are finally on the board.
Yeah, and winning eco rounds like this could be what MIBR needs to swing this back into their favor a little bit. Gives you a little bit of momentum. If you can do it with sheriffs, surely you can do it with rifles. He's going in. Hope everybody out there heard him. But again, nice shots from the sheriff across the board, but it's Artsine that started it off. All these headshots he's been getting.
Wow.
One enemy.
Nice on, guys.
There it is. Getting the dap up from Aspas as well.
Back towards A we go. Again, all here with the exception of one. Rockets traded, kills found on either side, and now the ult used.
But EU has been so good at getting the trades here. Aspas, a lot of pre-firing going on. They know he's here. Cryo takes him out.
Aspas again, silenced. The two remaining members of MIBR are going to get chased all the way into the site, all the way out of this round.
100 Thieves are like sharks. After they get a couple kills, they just smell blood in the water. They just go straight full W mode at them.
That's a really good way to put the way they've been playing.
They
Sharks,
don't care.
you're right.
They do not care. The confidence that this team has right now, it's something that has kind of been a thorn into them in the past. But with Boostio coming into this team, even last year, we got to see, you know, a lot more gravitas out of these players, these star players that we all know.
And now we get to wait for a little bit again.
Yeah. Star of the show again. It's been Asuna and following him up, EU on those A fights. Asuna still dodging all the utility, sneaking right past it. The answer this time around, yeah, it was the rocket from Aspas, but the trades are not going in their favor. With EU behind Asuna, he's able to get another. No aggressive fights have really gone the way of MIBR.
Nope. In fact, if memory serves me right, the only A main fight that they've won was the one that 100 Thieves chose not to take. It's been tough sledding for him, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to get any easier. Take a look at the ult situation for the attacking side. The rich get richer.
This is very tough. Cryo can be an entry now that he has that Glove ultimate.
That's a good stun. Asuna on the dash with a satchel in his face. He does not give a damn.
This is just a bloodbath right now. I mean, listen, I'm not saying it's over, but it's really feeling like it is.
I thought Neon got nerfed.
Yeah, right?
Are we playing on the old patch? What's going on here?
Still making it look amazing. I mean, when you have all that set utility to back you up, though, it's okay. We haven't seen any funky, you know, stun kills so far from the side of MIBR. The RNG just not going in their favor.
Well, I think it's more than just RNG not going in their favor. And the problem is, you know, we talked at the beginning of the round of how they have a lot of ultimates that they're going to be able to use for 100 Thieves, and how it seems like not only do they have that advantage, but they have everything else going on. They didn't invest any of them.
Yeah. All they invested was a Neon slide and a breach stun. Are you kidding me?
All it takes to win the rounds these days for 100 Thieves, I guess.
In MIBR, they're trying to change things up. They're doing different type of setups, different type of looks. But it's just so hard to go aggressive against this composition for Aspas.
I think my bigger concern here is they've already called a timeout once.
Yeah, do you blow a second one?
Yeah, do you burn the second one in the first half?
I don't know. It's a kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't moment. I mean, those kills just look effortless. You whiff one shot, you got a Prowler coming at you, a stun. And then that man on the screen. I think MIBR need to start getting a little bit more aggressive in the mid-round. Not trying to go for early fights because they just don't have the utility to back them up. Maybe now they do with the breach here.
We've seen this round before. It's almost the exact same outcome, but this time, finally, maybe some signs of hope.
But even so, with all that utility invested, it's still a 2-for-2. That favors the attacking side. It's a 3v2 on the actual site here. Contact being made.
That's a very nice shot.
Very nice breach ultimate as well from Boostio. Cortesia, he's been kind of quiet, but he's kind of been playing retake simulator. Little tap of the spike from Boosty.
This is not a done deal here. EU's weak, they've got the spike down. What utility do they have? Nazar has a little bit, but he's only got a Sheriff. Can they find a space to get out onto the site? A difficult task in a situation like this, but it has to be converted. And Cortesia will deliver for MIBR.
Yeah, Cortesia stepping up. This is the stuff that he was doing in the off-season tournament. He looked very solid. Maybe just needs a little bit more time to warm up here. It is the first match of VCT for him. Yeah, sitting at 3 and 6, but those 2 kills will get him that Killjoy ultimate online. Get the replay on that. Some nice flicks being made here. Yeah, he whipped that first, but he settles onto Boostio there. What nice flicks from the young gun.
Yeah, very well done.
Armageddon available. Lockdown available. More C-mound action here, but Boostio has a read onto this, understanding that it's probably a fighting squad towards C because of all this space gathered towards A. So Cryo, this time around, playing a little bit more aggressive towards that A side of the map.
It feels like Boostio is a step ahead.
Yeah.
In every round. Just when MIBR might have an understanding of what they're going to try to do, they're gone.
Initial contact from Cryo. Cortesia is gone now. Oh, what is that follow-up, Doug?
We haven't even talked about the Cryo clove.
What was that?
It's murder again.
Oh, he wants more too. Is he gonna pop the ult? He does.
Yes, he is. Oh. He's got the guns for it. Nazar waiting on the other side, tries to clean him up, gets the assist. The kill goes through for us, and then the round for 100 Thieves.
But again, just bullying the opposition.
Yeah.
I mean, 100 Thieves, they get the contact kill from Cryo, and then it's full steam forward once more. All 5 members already there. And you're right, 1 step ahead, 2 steps ahead. They're just running it down at this point. Oh, Aspas even threw the satchel out of there, trying to get a little boop on the person while he dropped, but it's not enough. And it really has been a team effort across the board from 100 Thieves. Yeah, Asuna, he's been the forefront. He's gotten a lot of the first kills. But everyone on 100 Thieves right now is playing so disciplined at the right moments and then aggressive at the right moments as well.
You know, for all the doom and gloom that we've painted, though, MIBR getting to 4 is salvageable. It's not all lost. I don't know if that's cope or hope. It might be.
I'm not sure either, but for the first time, MIBR aren't really taking a first fight. They're going to opt to play retake on C.
I mean, they have the utility. They have the ults to do that. You're right.
Yeah. And maybe... Oh, wait, Doug. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, no. What happened, Doug? What happened? Where'd you go?
There's another tech pause.
If you guys can't tell, no one's moving on either side right now.
You know, maybe that explains why MIBR wasn't interested in doing a
damn thing.
Yeah.
But you know
I
what?
like what we've started here. This is good. We should continue this.
The crazy thing is, I'm like analyzing it. I'm like, oh yeah.
Finally, it's different.
They're gonna play retake.
Yep.
They're gonna use their utility and retake the site. Nope. They just couldn't play the game.
I mean, low-key, we both bought into it too.
Damn.
Yeah, look at their ults. Their ults are great for retakes.
Damn, man.
Unlucky.
That's hilarious. That's really funny. But yeah, I mean, listen. It's been a one-sided affair so far from 100 Thieves. I guess it's to be expected. Attack Lotus. But I did expect that, you know, MIBR would have a little bit more oomph to their fights, especially with the Tejo. But I'm just not seeing the value in it yet. Maybe on the attacking side we'll see something more, but I have a strong feeling that 100 Thieves not running an actual Sentinel will do them a lot more justice than running the Tejo, because I mean, you don't have to have a person anchoring inside of the site, inside of their utility, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, this tech pause feels like we've been watching a train wreck for the last 11 rounds, and now it's in slow motion. And we got to slow this down a little bit more.
Good time for MIBR to get their head into the game, though. They have to use this to their advantage.
Yeah, go on.
They have to. They have to. I mean, you absolutely have to. You got to do anything you can. The only round they've won, the first one was an eco. The second was a 2v2. I'm pretty sure it was basically like a half buy as well. Boostio dancing on the stage.
I'm getting a tech pause gear, but I'm not seeing anyone messing with anyone's gear. So a little confused about that. I am being told that we're just a few seconds out, maybe a minute out from getting back into the action. We are going to roll that round back. Again, the heavy hitting analysis that Dre dropped on us was because nobody was playing the game.
Quick maths?
I guess.
Oh, here we go. Is this the first time he stood up?
Yeah.
First time he stood up this year. There it is.
Oh, is that how long the tech pause has gone on? That you're counting how many times he stood up this year?
Yeah.
We're hurting up here.
Hey, usually he steps up and he's talking a lot of smack.
Yeah.
A lot.
None of that yet. But by golly, we might just play a little bit more Valorant here.
Some things I think that MIBR could do is probably try to avoid the initial fights and just go for more trap setups. Try to catch 100 Thieves out when they're already in mount. Don't try to take the fight in the actual choke. Or try to catch 100 Thieves out when they're creeping up A. And it's so hard to know if they're there or not, but sometimes you just gotta take a guess. You gotta have a trap there. You gotta just go for it blindly after, 20, 30 seconds, because 100 Thieves so far have been defaulting very slowly.
Yeah, maybe that. I mean, any difference here, I think, could be beneficial, could be helpful. We are going back into the game. Again, we rolled back that previous round. That one never happened. It's been erased from everyone's memory. And now we're back into it. 6 rounds up for 100 Thieves. Asuna has that ult. We saw him explosively use it a couple of times now.
Mm-hmm.
But again, what's the difference for MIBR? It seems like it's more of this A main fight.
Yeah, and a change of a strat now. 100 Thieves last round went towards C-Mount. Now they're going to do their A fight as well. So historically, 100 Thieves have won this. Can they punish Asuna this time?
This is a slightly different flavor. They've got the Neho within. They're trying to get up, but it's the same thing.
Same story.
It's the same approach. They're slamming their heads into this wall, and nothing's changing.
Bowser couldn't settle on the Boostio there. Now, Cortesia again, Doug. He's playing Retake Simulator. I feel so bad for him.
That's the life of a Sentinel, though, bro.
I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
Hopefully on the attacking side, he'll be able to lurk, get some kind of contact plays, maybe get a little bit of a warm-up in. I mean, he's really seen no one. A 3v1 with a Sheriff to his name. Surely Cryocells hits a one-tap here as well. Oh.
And he does. No, he still did. you were surprisingly still correct.
You just know Cryo's going for those type of kills as well.
Yeah.
Like he loves the one tap. Again, effortless. I mean, they get out of A main easy. Asuna not getting fought at all. The utility has not changed from the side of MIBR on that fight. It's just like they're unaware of what his rollout is and how he's just sneaking into that door area, the door/orb area.
But hey, look. They're going to do the same thing again. They're going to fight A main.
And then you get offed in the face. The first time Cortesia gets contact, it's an operator to the dome, Doug. It's just not real. He really cannot play the game right now.
Yeah, when I said the rich get richer earlier, I didn't think it would become this.
Yeah, and with your Sentinel gone now, you kind of have to compensate. You saw a heavy lean already towards that C side of the map.
Right there.
But 100 Thieves, they're doing a re-clear towards A, so. I mean, really, the options are endless right now for 100 Thieves. You can really just do whatever you want.
You know, the truth is 100 Thieves have shown us a lot to be excited about. And yeah. I know it's only been a half of Valorant, but even what we're seeing right here is worth noting. They have played very pacey, they've played very aggressive, they've played in your face. They've also, in a numbers advantage, slowed the round down to a screeching halt, and then they decide to go. They're playing this push and pull game very nicely.
Oh my goodness, and the pacing from everybody, the pacing, the spacing. It's disgusting, it's filthy.
It is a slaughter. It is a slaughter to the highest degree. A 10-2 half, a flawless round to close things out, and I hate to be the one to remind everyone of this, but this is MIBR's map pick.
And to be fair, last year they were very good on it, but this 100 Thieves just looks so dialed in. They look so rehearsed on this map. Their defaults have been working perfectly. Baiting out utility has been working perfectly. The post plants have been perfect.
I'm about to start crying. I'm about to.
I wonder what else he said.
I don't know, but hopefully we'll save him from those tears. We're gonna cut to a break. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back. 8 rounds. 100 Thieves are up, and MIBR will try to find some footing to get back into this game on the attacking side. We've talked about the composition and how it's built for that a little bit more. What's this penguin violence, man?
That was crazy.
That
was crazy. Poor little guy.
Look, it's MIBR.
Low blow, man.
Look, but the comp is built to find a little bit more success on the attacking side.
Yeah.
And so maybe we will see some of that play out.
We have to. Otherwise, they're going to have to scrap this comp, run it back another day. Will be a contact approach in B main. Ooh. Shoulder seen, but EU gets out of dodge.
I missed who it was, but someone has regen. No. Oh, it's Aspas has a ghost regen armor. He's fully raid bossing, but it's Nazar who's getting the kills. 3, make that 4. Boostio left in a 1v2. He hasn't had a clutch moment in a little while, and he will not this time.
Full faith in Aspas, and he delivers. The light armor. He leads into B site, sees the little shoulder of EU, nades him off the angle, and then he's able to just take sight and just play aim labs at that point.
Yeah, I want to say it was regen armor too. It wasn't even just light armor.
Yeah. And it's something we saw in the offseason as well. They will hero buy him from time to time.
As one should.
And they needed it. They needed it. Now, they can actually build a little bit here. They need to start building all those ults, and they need to win this clean. They don't want to drop rifles here. If they want a chance of coming back, you need every type of advantage you can have.
You've managed to check the first box, overcome the first obstacle in a comeback attempt. You're right, you don't want to stumble here.
Still, I feel like it's just so hard, this 100 Thieves squad, with the confidence that they've had, that they've mustered, even just in this opening half that they had. Even with Classics, I feel like they could do a lot of damage. They have a Paranoia, they have a Tether, they have a Breach Stun still. This A fight could be very dangerous for MIBR.
I wonder what MIBR saw there. They made some noise C, they tapped the door to go B. There were no rotates through, and now they're going back into the teeth, of the stack.
Oh, slow down, Xander.
Don't want to overdo it here. This would be a dagger, but MIBR starting to feel some of that pressure. They understand that is where the stack is. They're going to go elsewhere.
Yeah, good job from Shinam to get that kill onto Cryo Cells. That does give them a C site. The flood is here. Oh, it was here, Doug. No more.
No, that flood's been dammed up. Boostio and Xander trying to get as many kills as they can as consolation prizes for the round, but MIBR should be able to carry 3 rifles into the next.
Yeah, all things considered, some good damage done, and it was looking very promising from 100 Thieves. It was very close. That stun that came out from Boostio landed on the multiple players. But Shinam on C Mound, the fact that he stayed there and the fact that he wasn't towards mid, getting that kill on the Cryo Cells, it actually brought them back into the mix. If that kill never comes through, if his positioning isn't there, that play isn't able to be happen, and all of a sudden, maybe 100 Thieves are going to win the round. Maybe they beat the rotate.
That'll deny any early AC main space.
Absolutely. That's what I expected out of this comp as well. Very strong space taking.
Well, we're seeing that play out. This one's interesting. They still have a little bit of presence towards B main, but they try to satchel out. I thought they were going to try to fake and then go back B, but that was not the case. Instead, they decided to brute force their way, or at least try to, into C. And again, they're stuffed.
And Boostio knew that was going to happen. Nobody plays Breach in the corner like that. Nobody. I've never seen a single player with utility on a character like Breach play that up front and personal. But Boostio will do that when he has a read on you. That champs run that he made, there were so many times that he took 1v1s on this specific map, on Killjoy, just running into B site.
And he was winning all of them.
Right? And those are just plays that he makes because he knows what you're doing. He knows what the gaps are. He knows what you're not going to clear fully.
Shinam has managed to get the spike down left into 1v3. Some audio cues to suggest where the threat is. The Guardian settles down onto 1, has a Paranoia. That's pretty good. If he finds a space to swing 4 bullets left, he's got it down to 1. But he never saw Xander.
That was so close, though. He played that so well with the paranoia. Asuna, yeah, he was just jumping around like a target, but he did get plucked out of the sky. Still, though, 100 Thieves had a read onto that round. Like I said, Boostio in the corner, the firing squad that was there already. Brute Force is the name of the game for MIBR.
I don't know. It didn't work in the first half. But, yeah, maybe it can here.
It has to. They have no choice. I mean, if they play the slow game, you're just going to get smothered. So many smokes that can come back up. So much info utility, and it's aggression.
This is really fast. It's not just aggression C, it's aggression B as well. It's an attack and assault on all fronts. And again, it's a slaughter. He's gotten 4. The ace is stolen, but 100 Thieves get to 12.
What a pinch. It's something that you've seen Cloud9 run in the past. They really patented that when Leaf was on the roster. 100 Thieves taking a page out of the plays from Cloud9 and making it look amazing, making it look flawless, making Neon look like she never got nerfed. With murderous intent, Asuna just running it down.
That's the face of a man who's had an ace stolen from him.
Yeah, he's pissed.
It's probably more than once by Boostio too.
It will be the last time out for MIBR, Doug. Maybe a little too late, but then again, I don't know. It's just definitely not MIBR's day on this map, that's for sure.
No, this is not going well. There was a lot of excitement around this roster. I think a lot of the pieces were there, and again, it's only been a map, but they look severely outclassed.
Even mechanically, I just feel like 100 Thieves are so sharp right now.
Yeah.
Every player. Close to breach ult, maybe that'll be something that they grab over towards this C mound area for MIBR.
There's already some aggression there if that's where they decide to go. What's Cryo up to here? Well, the breach done and then a peek. No, he's gonna try to take some space. They've inserted him. One found, ducks the flash, gets a kill.
Oh, what is this over on this side of the map?
Asuna's playing a different game.
He's really just running it down.
No more dream.
One tap as well onto the Omen ult.
It's finishing touches. This is. They're trying to get out of this as quickly as they can.
Wow. Flawless round, Doug, to close it out. And going into this map, we talked about brute force being the answer for MIBR, but it was actually brute force being the answer for 100 Thieves.
I mean, you can tell what the tell what the intent was. You can tell what the game plan was. They're gonna play at their pace. They're gonna play their way. 100 Thieves are, and it worked. And it worked to perfection. I think there wasn't ever really a time where MIBR looked comfortable, where they looked settled, and where they could try to execute the plans they wanted to coming into this.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves didn't sweat at all in this entire game. I mean, the closest round there was a 2v2. And yeah, it didn't go in their favor, but still, if that's one of the rounds that you lost, you're doing something right.
Right. Yeah.
One of the 2 that you lost. Sorry. I mean, that was a highlight from the fake pistol round that we saw. But
yeah. But this was really where the tone was set. Was in that 3rd round.
Yeah.
When Asuna had the ult, dashes out onto C, and from that point forward, it was just kind of done.
Every time a first blood was accumulated from 100 Thieves, they just seemed to keep it rolling.
Bind on the other side of this break. We're going to step away. When we return, the desk will talk about how awesome 100 Thieves looked. We'll be right back.
Okay, Team Secret. We need you guys on the stage now. Come on, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Busio, and this is my team, 100 Thieves. First up, Asuna, my anime protagonist. Next up, we got Cryo, Mr. 4K himself. EU, my initiator of the year. Not yours, mine. Finally, we got Xander, a Canadian model. Just look at him. He's beautiful.
I'm here joined by Zix after their Map 1 win over MIBR. A very, very big win for you guys. What has been kind of the approach to this season? We saw last kickoff and some of the stages from last year starting off in losses, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen this time around.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, our system is pretty much the same as last year. I think, you know, Xander and Bang are slightly different players, but mostly, like, they're both pretty aggressive, and maybe Xander's a bit more, like, obviously new to the system, so there's a lot of, like, things that we have to do to bring him into basically our system and bring him up to speed, but overall, it's been super solid. I mean, fortunately for us, we're one of the teams that maintained pretty much the majority of our roster, so our system's looking good. Obviously, looked really good first map, and hopefully it maintains that same level going into map 2.
So it's your map pick. You got anything special for us you can reveal?
Yeah, super, super crazy comp change.
Let's go. You heard it here from Zix. Let's see if it happens. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that, Riv. Well, we'll see what we get out of Bind, but what we got in map 1 was, well, Asuna hopping off on the Neon, which I'm really excited to see him do that. And 100 Thieves, really, I think kind of goes what you guys were saying before. The core of the squad stuck together. You kind of have to go with that. Makes sense, and it shows in the results.
Yeah, and this was a complete shocker, too, because 100 Thieves played 0 games of Neon in VCT last year when Neon was at her absolute strongest. So to see that Asuna put in the time to rep this agent, I mean, you look at his entry pathing, his movement, it was really, really a treat to watch.
And I think Neon is such a good direct counter to this comp that MIBR was running. I don't think 100 Thieves could have known they were going to play exactly this composition, but Neon is so strong into this Tejo breach. Those two agents excel when they can play at range, when they can rain down their utility, but Neon just circumvents all of that. Asuna just sprints through, is screaming in your face, and kills it.
I honestly was wondering what they were doing as well while they were getting Palpatine blasted over there. That's great.
I mean, they were trying to use their utility.
Trying.
Nice. And I honestly, I do want to talk a little bit more about this Neon, because I think a lot of people sort of set it to the side when the nerfs came in, stopping, you know, the perfect accuracy / slide headshots from across the map. But the way the sort of meta has changed, I still think there's room for the Neon pick, specifically if you're looking at big nerfs to the key Sentinel agents. Cypher was the biggest counter to Neon. Because you're trying to sprint into the site, you get instantly revealed by the tripwire. Now that there's the wind-up time on that, I think there's room to make the Neon operate in a lot more comps.
Yeah, this comp is also super strong in the post plant, having like constant smokes to keep up in their face, right? Like you do have solid retake utility with the Breach Tejo, but it's not like you have like a Sky Flash or something to send through the smoke. You only have the Breach Flashes, which are a little tougher to get value with against those smokes.
Yeah, and I would expect to see people playing this Neon, not necessarily just against like the Tejo comp, but also with it too. Because the way you can combo the stuns with the blasts from Tejo from very long range.
Yeah.
I think these sort of, agents, these duelist agents that have fighting utility, whether it's a Yoru Flash or a Raze Nade or a Neon Sun, I think those work really nicely with the new agent.
And despite how good the comp was, you still need someone who's going to deliver the kills in that position. And there was obviously questions about Asuna for his 4th year on 100 Thieves, and you could not ask for any better way to start things off. That was an incredible game from Asuna.
I wonder how that conversation started. Asuna comes into the office. He's like, guys, great idea. I want to run Neon. And everyone's like, dog, we just did that all season long.
But the weird thing is 100 Thieves wasn't. Like everyone else was. They weren't.
Fascinating stuff there. But of course, let's go ahead and hear from Coach Fraud about how MIBR plans to bounce back for Map 2.
I am joined by Fraud from MIBR. Just before we head into Map 2, I want to get your thoughts on what you were kind of saying to the team there, how you calmed them down after, things outside the game and in the game are affecting that play.
It's us against the world. That's how it is. So, we're playing against multiple teams here. So it is what it is. We got to just reset, forget about that map, and just on to the next one.
I believe it can happen. Fraud, best of luck. Back to you guys.
You just gotta forget about it. Ain't that right, Ender? You gotta forget about it.
I feel like he was in like a sports movie with that. Us against the world.
But yeah, I mean, him even saying that, look, I'm not gonna avoid it, right? There were some delays on the stage that causes, you lose a little bit of that momentum, right? They won that first round. Maybe they were like, oh yeah, things are going great. And then after that point, things slowly started to fall apart. So you can definitely see how that morale would like really begin to disintegrate as the match went on.
This is also an MIBR team with 2 rookies brand new to the big
Very
stage.
true.
So that was always the question of, will they actually be turning up on day one, right? Because we know they have the talent. We saw them play in a few games in their offseason too. They looked sick. Such incredible talent in the Brazilian scene. But here, making the move, making it all click on day one, hasn't happened just yet.
I also think this debut match is the most impossible to prep for, right? You have no idea what your opponent's team is going to look like, what comps they're going to run, how their players are
You're not ready
going to
for
be
the
playing,
Neon,
right?
that's for sure.
That was definitely a curveball, and they could not adapt in time.
Well, they're going to need to adapt. Otherwise, it'll be a quick 2-0 for 100 Thieves. But we're going to take a quick pause for the cause. And when we return, Doug and Baby Bay are going to be back with all of you for map number 2.